Today I'm going to tell you a story that few people know. A journey that began with timid dance steps and blossomed into something extraordinary. This is the story of a woman who conquered Hollywood without ever leaving her roots behind. It all starts in Vancouver, 1971. A 9-year-old girl walks into a dance studio for the very first time. Her legs are trembling, not from fear, but from pure, unadulterated excitement. She doesn't know it yet, but that single moment is about to change her life forever. The mirrors reflect dozens of kids, all trying to follow the teacher's movements. She's in the back, just observing, her curious eyes soaking everything in. Each step, each turn, every facial expression is etched into her memory like a vivid photograph. Fast forward to 18 years old, her first national television appearance. It's a Halloween special for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and she is both terrifying and brilliant. The producers are immediately impressed by her natural presence in front of the camera, but then something unexpected happens. She decides to follow a different path entirely. From 19 to 27, she works in radio. Not as an actress, but as a media professional. She moves through several important stations in the region. At CJFM, she learns the power of the voice without an image. At KISS-FM, she discovers how to connect with an audience through sound alone. At CKWX, she perfects her ability to improvise and nail her timing. These are formative years that shape her incredible versatility as an artist. And then, in the 90s, she decides to return fully to acting. She starts auditioning for television series. Rejection after rejection, she persists. Her diverse background makes her unique, but it also makes her difficult for casting directors to categorize. In 1995, everything changes. She lands a role that will define her career. It's not the lead, but it's significant. It's a character that fans will fall in love with, a character that will become iconic. She will be remembered for this portrayal forever. The character is a doctor, a strong, intelligent, compassionate woman. She brings such depth and humanity to every scene. She's not just a professional doing her job. She's someone who genuinely cares about every life she touches. For years, she portrays this role with absolute dedication. She studies real medicine, talks to actual doctors, observes procedures. Her performance is so convincing that fans often mistake her for a real doctor in real life. The series becomes a global phenomenon. Millions of people tune in every week. She receives letters from fans all over the world, thanking her for representing a strong woman in science. Children write to say they want to be doctors because of her. But there's a dark side to this fame: typecasting. Directors can only see her as that one character. She auditions for other roles, but always hears the same thing: "You're perfect, but you're too associated with that role." It's frustrating, but it's also liberating in a way. In 2006, she decides to expand her horizons into theater. She joins a production of A Delicate Balance, a dense, psychologically complex play. She dives into the role with all the experience she's accumulated over decades. The critics are blown away. Her performance is nominated for the prestigious Jessie Richardson Theatre Award for Best Supporting Actress. She doesn't win, but the nomination proves she is so much more than just one role. 2 years later, in 2008, she shines in Coffee Diva, a miniseries that shows her in a completely different light. Comedy, drama, romance, she navigates every tone with impressive mastery. A Leo Award nomination confirms her versatility. In 2009, another Leo nomination, this time for The Guard. She plays a supporting role that steals every scene she's in. The producers are so impressed they expand her part beyond what was originally planned. She just brings a unique energy to every project. More nominations follow for her work in The Collector. Again, she proves she can transition between genres with ease, from police drama to supernatural elements and complex moral dilemmas. She delivers everything with authenticity and profound emotional depth. Meanwhile, she continues to be remembered and celebrated for the role that made her famous. Fan conventions invite her regularly. She participates with gratitude, recognizing the impact that character had on her life and the lives of millions. In 2001, something extraordinary happens. She travels to Afghanistan to entertain the troops. It's dangerous, it's challenging, but she feels it's her duty. Seeing the soldiers' faces light up from her performances makes it all worthwhile. The photos from that trip show a courageous and generous woman, not there for publicity, but genuinely there to bring a bit of joy to people in impossible situations. Years later, she's still working constantly. Television, movies, series, theater. She never stops. Each role is a new opportunity to grow, to explore, to challenge herself. She refuses to settle or repeat formulas. In Cedar Cove, she co-stars as Grace Sherman, a role that allows her to explore complex relationships, second chances, and mature love. Fans adore her chemistry with the cast. Then, Virgin River brings another memorable role as Muriel. She brings such warmth and wisdom to a character that could have been secondary. But in her hands, Muriel becomes someone everyone wants in their life. Maternal, funny, and surprisingly deep. In Arrow, she portrays Zhang Luoring in a completely different universe of superheroes and action. She adapts perfectly, proving once again there's no genre she can't master. In Nancy Drew, she becomes Celia Hudson, working with a young cast and bringing a stabilizing presence that elevates every scene she's in. Throughout her career, she has participated in numerous television movies. They might be smaller productions, but she treats each one with the same dedication she'd give a Hollywood blockbuster. Professionalism is something she never compromises on. She speaks fondly about starting with those dance classes at 9 years old, about the nervous girl who could barely look the teacher in the eyes. She talks about how every experience, every rejection, every success shaped her. Her co-workers describe her as generous and professional, no ego, no drama. Just love for the craft and respect for everyone on set. Fans who meet her at conventions say she's exactly as they'd hoped. Kind, thoughtful, and genuinely interested in their stories. There are incredible stories of fans who found comfort in her characters during difficult times. Once a mother wrote to tell her how her daughter, who had terminal cancer, loved the doctor character. The little girl said that when she grew up, she would be a doctor just like her. The actress recorded a personal video for the child, which the family keeps as a treasured memory. Another story involves a young woman who was bullied for wanting to study science. She watched the series, saw a strong and intelligent woman, and decided not to give up. Today, she's an engineer. This actress also speaks openly about the industry's challenges like ageism and the limited roles for mature women. But instead of bitterness, she chooses gratitude for every opportunity and works to create more for others. Her advice for young actors is simple but profound. Study your craft. Be versatile. Don't wait for the perfect role. Create opportunities. Be professional. And never lose your love for the art. There's a moment in an interview where she becomes visibly emotional. They ask what she'd tell that 9-year-old girl in her first dance class. She takes a deep breath, smiles through tears, and says, "I'd say, you're going to make it. It'll be hard, but you're going to make it." This vulnerability reveals something important. Despite all the success, she still carries that insecure girl with her, protecting her, celebrating her. She doesn't talk much about her trip to Afghanistan, but when she does, her eyes shine. She says it was one of the most important experiences of her life. Since then, she quietly supports various veterans organizations, using her voice to ensure they get the support they deserve. When asked if she thinks about retirement, she just laughs. Retirement from what? From doing what she loves? From telling stories? As long as there are stories to tell, she'd be there, telling them. Her name is Teryl Rothery, and her journey is a masterclass in resilience, versatility, and grace. From a dance studio in Vancouver to the hearts of millions around the world, she's an artist who has truly done it all. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you next time. There's something inspiring about this lifelong dedication to art. In an era of instant gratification and fleeting fame, she represents something timeless. Hard work, dedication, consistency, genuine love for the craft. These are values that seem old-fashioned but are eternally relevant. She observes the new generation of actors with interest and concern. So much talent, so much pressure. Social media added a dimension that didn't exist when she started. Instant fame, constant scrutiny, impossible expectations. She tries to mentor when she can, offering perspective. Her advice is always the same. Remember why you started. In the middle of contracts, auditions, rejections, successes, pressure, remember that first moment on stage. That pure feeling of joy in telling a story. Keep that alive. It's your anchor. She also encouraged young actors to have lives outside acting. Hobbies, relationships, diverse interests. Acting should enrich your life, not consume it completely. Interesting people are better actors. Varied experiences inform richer performances. She herself practices what she preaches. She travels when she can, not just for work. Reads voraciously diverse genres, maintains old friendships. Participates in her community. Has a rich and multidimensional life. Acting is an important part, but not the totality. There's wisdom in her approach. Hollywood is full of stories of people who got completely lost in the industry, who sacrificed everything for fame, who forgot who they were outside the spotlight. She never allowed that to happen. She remained grounded, real, human. Sometimes in quiet moments she reflects on the complete journey. From the 9-year-old girl to the 60-something woman. From dance classes to Hollywood sets. From community theaters to international productions. It's an extraordinary journey, but also surprisingly common. Because in the end, it's a story about never giving up on dreams. About adapting when necessary, but never abandoning. About finding joy in the process, not just the destination. About being kind, working hard, staying humble. These are universal lessons in specific context. She hopes that when people look at her career, they see more than just roles. That they see a life lived with purpose. A career built with integrity. A legacy of kindness as much as talent. That's what really matters in the end. And as she continues working, creating, inspiring, a new generation of 9-year-olds is starting dance classes. Looking in the mirror, dreaming big. Some will be inspired by her example. And the cycle continues. Stories pass forward. Dreams feeding dreams. Perhaps that's the greatest victory. Not the awards or nominations, not the iconic roles, but rather having lived a life that others can look at and think, if she made it, I can too. If she never gave up, neither will.